4.2 एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम इमं राजर्षयो विदु सकालने अमहता योगो नस्तः परन्तप। 4.8 परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे। 4.9 जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नयति मामेति सोऽर्जुन। 4.34 तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः। 5.22 ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुःखयोनय एव ते आद्यन्वन्त कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः। 5.29 भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकामहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृक्षति। 6.47 योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनन्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ता तमो मतः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा। ओके, ठीक है, रहने दो, फिर बंद ही रहने दो, इतना बाद में देखें। हरे कृष्णा। ओके, विल बिगिन। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। एक मिनट। हरे कृष्णा। सभी भक्तों से अनुरोध है कि वीडियो ऑन करिए और क्लास में प्रेजेंट रहिए। यस, एनीवन यस्टरडे व्हाट वी डिस्कस, आप में से कोई बताना चाहेगा? क्या डिस्कशन हुआ?
So Dhyan Yoga, basically that we all discussed that how from Niskam Karma Yoga, then two branches go on Bhakta, on basically Dhyan Yoga and Bhakti. Dhyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. And then we also discussed about two levels of Ashtang Yoga, that is Aruksha and Arudha. And then we also discussed a little bit about mind, how mind is both friend and enemy, and that is how I think we concluded yesterday.
Okay. nice.
We also discussed about faith and practice as well.
Faith and practice. Yes. Yes, very nice. Yes, Madhav Keshavu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we discussed yesterday like the first sloka, first and second sloka, it describes about the niskam karma yoga. Means we should not, we should be free from the desire of sense gratifications while doing the work. That point we discussed that first two slokas. Focus on that.
Correct. So, who is a true yogi or sannyasi? Who is that?
Means even though sannyasi is there, who can do the who can perform the works without the attachment of the fruits of that
Yes.
fruits of the.
Yes. That is the definition. So, doing karma is not a problem. But how one should do karma? Anashita karma phalam. Karyam karma karoti yaha sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na nir agnir na cha akriya. Just 1 minute.
काय झालं तुमचा आवाज नाही प्रभूजींचा फोन आला ना ते म्हटलं थांबा.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So there is no problem in doing the work. Krishna motivates that one should do the work even for the reason to maintain one's body. So maintaining body is one thing, trying to enjoy the result is another thing. So yes, one thing is clear that becoming workaholic. Why people want to become workaholic? Because they are attached to the result, and that's why Krishna says that you don't enjoy the result. So then the people will not become workaholic. People will surely, if they are anasita karma phala, and even if they are working hard for Krishna, or they are working hard for higher purpose. There are some stories we have heard that somebody is working hard for his guru, so that the guru can make a temple, or guru can utilize that money for maintaining some brahmanas. So the person will be working hard because he has to give money to guru. So that workaholism is very much okay, because he is working hard for guru, because he is anasita karma phala. But nowadays, why it is too much blamed or criticized workaholism? Because people are working for themselves, selfish work. So we should clearly understand, until we are at a very advanced stage, we should not give up work. And which work we should not give up, which work we should take up? So we can give up material work, but we have to take up the spiritual work. So in our sampradaya, in our bhakti path, there is no question of giving work at all. We have to always work either for Krishna fully, or for little for Krishna and for more for us, like that. So at last, how it should be perfected, that whole work should be for Krishna, without any desire for sense gratification. So this is the whole understanding. Okay, nice. So we were discussing yesterday about mind. So I will share with. So mind is a great faculty, or it's a big item which requires to be nicely used for achieving our goal in life. If it is not properly utilized, then it can harm us to greater extent. So we see that the Shastra speak a lot about the mind. Means mind has conception, mind has experiences. So and also mind also has a nature of stubborn nature. It's a sankalpa vikalpa. Sometimes mind takes sankalpa for wrong things, and sometimes the mind is not steady. It starts jumping like monkey from one thing to another. So that is called sankalpa vikalpa. And sometimes mind says something to do, and after that the same mind blames us. Why did you do that? You foolish person, why did you do that? Like for a child, he is cheating in exam. So mind is saying cheat because you have to pass. And as soon as the teacher catches, you foolish, why did you cheat? See, so much suffering now. Now teacher will inform to principal, and then you will be rusticated or whatever may happen. So the same mind which was companion of that person or the child, and it forced that person to cheat. When he was caught, the mind became fearful, and then mind started thinking otherwise. I should not have cheated. What happened now? What happened now? Now how I will face my parents? How I will face my principal? Same mind. Or even if the person is very expert in dealing with the superiors, then the mind will say, no problem. I have a trick how to deal with the people. I can cheat them also. So sometimes mind may go into fear, and sometimes mind may go to the totally wrong track only. Therefore, it's clearly mentioned here, it's a ripur. Ripur matlab, ripu means enemy, and bandhu means friend. So mind can be your friend and mind can be your enemy. And how you will deliver yourself? When your mind acts like a friend. And you cannot deliver yourself from this world if your mind is your enemy. That is why Prabhupada mentions in NOI, the first and foremost business of any spiritualist is to control one's mind and senses. Yes, isn't it? What Prabhupada writes in Narad Muni section in first canto, DOS principle, how one can serve a spiritual master. One should be disciplined, obedient and self-controlled. Then one will be eligible to serve a spiritual master, and then one will be able to cross this material world. So like that. Hare Krishna. Please mute yourself. So it is like that, okay? So self-control, discipline, obedience, these are all the things which mind does not want. Mind always wants freedom. Senses always want freedom. But no, one has to understand that without controlling them, one cannot make them friend, and without making them friend, one cannot become delivered from this world. So yes, this is the whole concept here is mentioned. Therefore, how this is like application, how to understand. Now the yogi is going to meditate on Paramatma. Now if mind does not stay with the same vision of Paramatma and it goes away somewhere here and there, Then yato yato nischalati mana chanchalam astiram. Arjuna is going to say so many things in this whole section about the mind. So Krishna says, bring it back, again and again, bring it back. The mind has a nature of a childish nature, always become obsessed with something trivial, very trivial something is there, and mind becomes obsessed with that. Either that trivial thing will be some enjoyment or it will be problem. If it is a problem also, mind will become obsessed with that. A small problem, mind will become obsessed. A small happiness, mind will become obsessed. It's like a child. Like a child, if you give a toy, oh so nice, as I love you mom, I love you dad, you have really made me so much happy, and then the whole day he will start playing with the toy. But parents understand that this toy is so trivial thing, but the child is so much obsessed with it. So mind has a nature of being obsessed with small things also. So then for a small thing, mind start going from the main thing. Like main thing is concentration on the Supreme Lord, then mind will distract, mind will go away for a small thing. Okay, oh आज मैंने क्या cooking नहीं किया, अरे आज उसने मेरे को क्या कह दिया, आज उसने मेरे को क्या कह दिया, or even not problem, then some positive distraction. Positive distraction means I will chant more rounds today because I am feeling so nice in chanting. So then mind will have positive distraction. Okay, today I will read 20 pages of Prabhupada book. And when this thinking is coming, when one is chanting, आज मेरा chanting बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है, आज मैं 20 पेज पढ़ूंगा प्रभुपाद के, और then mind goes ahead, but which chapter I should read? Okay, shall I read Ajamil section? Oh no, Ajamil section I have read many times. I should read Puranjan section. But which is a weekend lecture I have to give? Again the mind goes into whole whirlpool of desires. पता नहीं लगता कहाँ से चालू हुआ, किधर चला गया. तो ये माइंड का नेचर है. वो एक बच्चे जैसे होते हैं. अगर बच्चे को लाइक फॉर चिल्ड्रन, इफ दे गो लिटिल आउटसाइड ऑफ द डोर, लिटिल दे विल स्टेप आउट, देन यू विल बिकम फियरफुल. ये कहीं बाहर भाग ना जाए. क्यों? यू कैन नॉट ट्रस्ट ऑन हिम. यस, अगर बच्चे थोड़ा भी घर के बाहर गए, अब वो पता नहीं किधर भागेगा वो, क्योंकि वो बोलेगा मैं इधर ही बाहर ही हूँ, और फिर चला जाएगा बाहर, देखेगा कुछ तो दिख रहा है उधर भाग जाएगा, फिर उधर देखेगा उधर दिख रहा है उधर भाग जाएगा. दैट्स द सो मच प्रॉब्लम. तो उनको पकड़ के रखना पड़ता है, बिकॉज यू कैन नॉट ट्रस्ट देम, दे कैन बी इजी डिस्ट्रैक्टेड. Mind is a central point of the yoga practice, and Atma refers here to the mind. The purpose of yoga is to control the mind and to draw it away from the attachment to sense object. The mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mire of nescience. In material existence, one is subject to the influence of the mind and the senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego. This is also important. Mind is a, you can say, bodyguard of false ego. So nothing should harm false ego, and that's why the bodyguard is always standing there. Mind is like a bodyguard. क्या चाहिए? false ego बोलता है कि I am this person and I have such an expectation, मेरे को ऐसे enjoy करना है. And mind says yes, this will happen. And mind will not allow anything to pass against that plan. किसी को pass नहीं करेगा mind. Like sometimes when some management happens, some heated discussion happen, and many times it is understood that it is because of false ego of two people or one person, whatever. So false ego, it does not allow intelligence to work. It says that this is what I want. Now do not say that I cannot have it, or I will have it after some time later. No, I want it right now. Means right now. And then mind also becomes like a bodyguard, and it takes sankalpa कि ऐसा चाहिए मुझे. And mind starts giving emotion to that false ego. Emotion उसको भर देता है कि अगर नहीं होगा ना तो मैं गड़बड़ कर दूंगा, इमोशंस के साथ बोलने लगता है फॉल्स ईगो. एंड इंटेलिजेंस बिकम टोटली वीकेंड एक्चुअली. Intelligence knows that I am wrong or I should think once more before becoming too much obsessed with it. So that's why the false ego takes help of the mind to defeat intelligence. And Prabhupada also many times said that intelligence is a next door neighbor of soul. If intelligence is surcharged with spiritual knowledge, it can decide what the person should do and what it should not do. So it's like that. So the false ego which desires to lord it over material nature. Therefore, mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted by the glitter of material nature, and in this way the conditioned soul may be saved. The mind should be trained not to be attracted by the glitter of material nature. It requires training. Because false ego has a desire, or false ego desires to lord it over material nature, and mind then has a lot of experience of it, how it has enjoyed along with the senses. So then mind also becomes bodyguard and assistant for a false ego, that yes, I will make it happen anyway. So one should not degrade oneself by the attraction to the sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense object, the more one becomes entangled in the material existence. यानी जितना भी हमारे attractions है life में, it is because of our mind, the glitter of material nature. It is because of mind. So false ego is behind, which has a definition to live in this world, that is, I am the lord of everything. And mind makes that definition work in this world by getting attracted to the object of the world, sense objects. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always remind Krishna consciousness. It is used for emphasizing this point. One must do this, and it is said, "Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshaye bandhaya Vishayasango Muktaev Nirvishayam Manaha." For man, mind is the cause of bondage, mind is the cause of liberation, mind absorbed in the sense object is the cause of bondage, and mind detached from the sense object is the cause of liberation. So mana eva manushyana. Only through mind one can be liberated and one can be bound. Karanam bandha mokshaye. Just see, man is a karanam for bandha and moksha. Man is a karan. And in this chapter only Krishna will tell, if you have controlled your mind, means you have seen Paramatma, means you have already achieved Paramatma. So mind control, it means it is that level. Mind control is very high level. Since the soul has fallen into the well of samsara by the attachment to the object of the senses, with effort one should deliver that soul. One should deliver the soul atmanam by mind which is devoid of attachment to the object of the senses, atmana. One should not let the soul fall into the well of samsara by the mind which is attached to the object of senses. Therefore the mind is both the friend and the enemy of the soul. So, yes. Somebody should read the translation. Who is there? Okay, Prabhuji, who is there? Any Prabhu? Ashish Tiwari. Okay, I will give somebody else chance. एक मिनट और कौन पढ़ेगा? Pratik Prabhu, okay, he will read. बंधुर आत्मात्मनस्तस्य येन आत्मैव आत्मना जिता अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेत आत्मैव शत्रुवत्.
For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy.
See, anytime in our life problem happens and we are quite serious about it, that this problem is it's a bottleneck for my progress, or I am going to decide a great decision in my life. That time you understand your mind is quite active there. And if that mind is mostly affected by some wrong behavior of someone, some negative behavior of someone, and then we are going to make some decision, then we have to be careful. So this is not only for yoga, because this is spoken for the yogi who is going to meditate on the Lord, but when we are living our life also, so that time also we go through this turmoil of negativity in our life. Many times the situations becomes too much intolerable, and we always think ourselves right. I am right. What is the problem in my thinking? What I am expecting is also 100% right. But to be right in this world is not the ultimate right for our mind, because the world does not run through our own speculation. We have to adjust at certain times. We have to adjust, and that adjustment also we have to learn. Adjustment means even if you are perfect, you are cooperating. Adjustments means even if you are perfect, you are cooperating, and cooperating means you allow imperfection according to yourself, because you think this is imperfect, this does not fit with me, but still I am cooperating. But that can be perfect also. We do not know. It may be or may not be. So like Prithu Maharaj has to cooperate with Indra. Yes. So Lord Indra's problem was totally mental. He was thinking, how can he become the next Indra? Surely Prithu Maharaj is not going to throw him off before his tenure finishes. अब जितने साल का उनको इंद्र बनना है उतने साल तो रहेंगे नहीं, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट आने वाले हैं ना वो तो. सो देन व्हाई ही वाज टू मच इनसिक्योर? बिकॉज वन कैन थिंक लाइक if no proper person meets to Lord Vishnu, means if Lord Vishnu does not find any proper person next Indra, so maybe he will request me that can you continue. So you are thinking maybe because with that excuse I may have to continue the next Indra, but it does not happen. Few chances are there. So anyway, Prithu was going to be king, if at all, according to his practice. He did 100 Yasumegh Yajna, but did he really want to become the king? वो बनना चाहते थे क्या पहले? वो तो सोचा नहीं. So here Prithu has to cooperate, and that was totally wrong. Prithu was doing that yajna for the welfare of public. He was not going to become Indra, but Indra thought otherwise. So this is the one thing. And that time Prithu also took that decision. I would kill Indra now. अभी इसको खत्म करते हैं. And he, along with the Brahmanas, they decided immediately will chant mantra and will cause Indra to fall in this Yajna and he will burn there. So Indra will be finished. And they started chanting mantra also, because Prithu thought that I am right. And then when he started chanting mantra like Brahmanas, and immediately Brahma came. He said, stop, what you are doing? Because Prithu is a king of earthly planet and Indra is a king of heavenly planet. Now there is a fight between heavenly planet's king and earthly planet king. Now Brahma is a manager for both. Brahma has to see that who is earthly king and who is heavenly king. So for him management problem. अभी किसको बैठाना है राजा? So then he says also, because Brahma is not a ordinary living being, he is the first living being produced in this material world. Atma Bhu, directly produced, no mother was required. So then he said that Lord Vishnu wants that you should not do this 100 yajna. And then he speaks to Ritu Maharaj that Ritu Maharaj, what you are doing? You are just competing with this Indra, with this yajna. Then life is not meant for you. Life is not meant in this way for you. You should not do karma kanda yajna. You are meant for liberation. You are a commodity of a liberation. You are not a commodity of this world. So one who is on the path of liberation, he should not be too much worried with the gain and safety in this world. You give up this thing. So he started instructing Ritu Maharaj on behalf of spiritual knowledge that you should not indulge in such kind of competition. Leave it. Lord Vishnu will be satisfied with you. And that happens actually. So we find that mind many times when it thinks that I am right, so righteousness is good, but to become self-righteous is not good. Righteousness means I will do the right, and self-righteousness means whatever I do is right. So many times when we start doing the right, then this happens, that whatever I do, it becomes right. So then here comes the ego. Ego has come now. Whatever I will do is right only. But righteousness is good. Yes, we should be righteous. We should do the right thing. But whatever I do is right, that is not correct. That is self-righteousness. So the mind brings so many problems in our life. So many. Jitne bhi hai na, like Avanti Brahmana, he says that nobody is the cause of my suffering. We know that Avanti Brahmana, he was a very rich Brahmana, and he did not deal properly with his relatives and his family members as well. So then, even though he was rich, and anybody who is rich, people remain connected to him because of his richness, not because he is a very good person. Yes. So then they remain connected, they did not say anything to him. And when he, by providence, will of providence, he became bankrupt, totally bankrupt. He has to give away everything, and then he was left out with nothing, and he went out of the home, Brahmana, and everybody was just taking the revenge against him. His relatives, his family members, and his neighbors, everyone. And so many means you can say very silly things they were doing against him. So then that time Avanti Brahmana says that he came to this realization that actually my Lord, he was a Brahmana, so he was worship of Lord Vishnu. So he says that actually my karma is not the cause of my suffering. Bhutas are not cause of my suffering. My relatives are not cause of my suffering. Mana parama karanam. My mind is only the cause of my suffering. Mind is only the cause of my suffering. The mind holds the conception that I am this person, I am that person. Basically, conception means ego only. Ego. So mind is like a bodyguard for ego. So mind carries ahead the vision of the ego, and so the person does not understand that in this world nothing is good or bad. Everything is bad only. Everything is bad. But because of his conception, he starts thinking this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. So to such an extent, you can just understand. Avanti Brahmana is thinking that whatever is happening is my mind's problem. Somebody is spitting on him, somebody is urinating on him, and somebody is slapping him. Every action he is translating it into the problem of mind. The problem of mind. And by this kind of understanding, he could achieve liberation from this world. Means the sannyas mantra which is chanted by sannyasis, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to chant, is spoken by Avanti Brahman. I am taking shelter of my Lord, and I will cross over this material world by taking shelter of you. I don't worry about anything because I understood that whole problem is my mind. Mind has certain conception, and that conception mind wants to preserve it in this world, and when it is strike against, then mind becomes angry. When it is loved, then mind becomes very happy. So ultimately I am simply preserving my conception, and that is my happiness or sorrow. So better to give away this conception only, all mental conception, and understand that I am a das of you. I will simply meant to serve you, and anything comes in my service up and down, it does not matter, because soul is not affected with anything material. His only occupation is to serve, and Krishna's only occupation is to love. Krishna loves us, Krishna maintains us, and our only occupation is to serve with love. So whatever other things are there is basically temporary and according to our conception. So therefore our mind has always to be evaluated. It's a very big thing actually. It's not a very easy thing also. It's a very big thing. So many times what happened, after long years of doing wrong, one comes to understand that I was wrong. बहुत सालों तक गलती करने के बाद समझ में आता है कि मैं गलत था. तो और कई लोगों को मरते मरते भी समझ में नहीं आता कि मैं गलत था. जैसे रावण को तो समझ में नहीं आया कि वो गलत था. जब उसको तीर लगा ना, लास्ट तीर जिसमें वो मर गया, तो मरते समय उसको समझ में आया कि मैं क्यों मरा. तो रावण बोलता है कि मैं क्यों मरा, क्योंकि मैं राम के बाण से नहीं मरा हूँ, मैं सीता के साप से मरा हूँ. आई हैव बीन डाइड बिकॉज ऑफ कर्स ऑफ सीता. मंदोदरी आल्सो confirms this thing कि you did not die because of anything, you died because of the curse of Sita. So if Ravana could have thought that my problem is not Ram, my problem is my sense gratification for Sita, then if he could have released Sita, then this situation would not have come, and then he would not have cursed or start thinking that Ram killed me, Ram killed me, Ram killed my son, Ram killed my brother, Ram killed my army, now I will kill Ram. So Ram was not a problem for him, but his problem was his enjoyment tendency for Mother Sita. And with that he continued, and then he fought against Lord Ram, and then he was not saved. He was killed. So he became enemy of, or you can say disobedient to Lord Shiva. He became disobedient to his brother. His brother was junior. At least he did not hear his brother. He did not hear Hanuman. He did not hear his wife. He had a deaf ears for so many peoples who had a wisdom to give to him. So that's why this all thing we can see, this is mind. Mind attached to something. Dhritarashtra, same example. Mind attached to something. Whole family was killed because of his stubborn nature that I will support my son. Even though Krishna is there, who is a God himself, but I will support my son. Mind. Here also mind. And at last he realized that actually, surely it is not mentioned in the Bhagavatam that he realized and he repented a lot that he did wrong. But at least it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that he cut the attachment, all familial attachment, because of his intelligence. So he cut away all the attachments, and then he attained Brahma Mukti in 5 days. Dhritarashtra also mentioned. So this is the issues, so many issues in our literatures is mentioned about with the mind. So because mind is with the false ego, so then the journey of our wrong conception continues for many years or maybe lifetimes also, because it is connected with false ego. If mind was alone, then mind could have been defeated, but mind is with false ego, then it becomes difficult actually. False ego takes anything to be so big, anything to be so big. एक गरीब को भी, भिखारी को भी अपने इलाके पे गर्व है कि मेरे को इस इलाके में मेरे को भीख मांगना है और ये इलाका मेरा है, तो उसको चवन्नी मिल रहा है फिर भी वो दूसरों को आने नहीं देगा वहाँ पे। क्यों? क्योंकि मेरा इलाका है। सो माइंड इज सपोर्टेड विद द ईगो and ego is supported by mind, like that. So as long as one mind remains an unconquered enemy, one has to serve the dictation of lust, anger, avarice, illusion. So this is another thing. As long as mind remains the unconquered enemy. So there are two Maharaj. One Maharaj is who conquers external enemies, and one Maharaj is who conquers internal enemy. So therefore both are called Maharaj. But the second Maharaj is more important, because external victory does not stay for long. Some other king may come and he can conquer over. But the mind, the internal enemy, if we conquer, then we will be free from all such struggle of existence and will directly go to kingdom of God. So anyone's mind is not controlled, he becomes he follows the dictation of lust, anger, avarice and illusion. One whose mind is not controlled. But when one mind is controlled, conquered, one voluntarily agrees to abide by the dictation of the Supreme Lord. So देखो दो ही अंतर है यहाँ पे, काम क्रोध लोभ को फॉलो करना है, भगवान को करना फॉलो। इससे पता लगता है कौन सा माइंड कंट्रोल्ड है। Real yoga practice entails the meeting Paramatma within heart and then following his dictation. For one who takes to Krishna consciousness directly, perfectly surrender to the dictation of the Lord, follows automatically. So the best thing to control mind is to follow the dictation of Supreme Lord, which is there in the scripture, which is spoken by Guru, Sadhus. So to follow is the best thing. So we have to learn from the scriptures, from Guru, from the Sadhus to follow. जितात्मनः प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखेषु तथा मानपमानयोः.
For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same.
Okay, there is another thing we discussed about the mind, and so because mind has approach to different level of our issues, which creates mind creates many issues at different level. So solution also are there at many levels. So one thing, the foremost solution in our life, which Krishna says in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that stick to your duties in your life. Any problem comes because of some flickering, sukha dukha, man apman, you do not worry much about that. Stick to your duty. Matra spashastu pante sitoshna sukha dukkada agama paino nitya tam tatikshva bharata. So when one sticks to one's duty, in due course what happens? The dualities pass away. Dualities pass away. This is the important thing. Sticking to our duties. So whatever duties are there, again material duties or spiritual duties, both has to be followed without becoming affected by the happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor. So for practicing sadhaka, this is important. For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul already reached and he has attained tranquility. So now what is the tranquility, which is the highest stage? So here we were discussing in Krishna, in second chapter he says that Dehino Asmini Yatha, next slok he says Matra Sparsastu Panteya. So he mentions that Arjuna, never give up your duty, continue the duty, because you have affection for your family members, still you fight. by doing your duty, not becoming affected by the dualities, slowly the dualities will not affect you, and you will come to the stage of tranquility. That is the here mentioned tranquility. To such a man, happiness, distress, everything appears same, because he has become freed from conception that or expectation. He was just fixed up in doing his duty. Now, actually, every living entity is intended to abide by the dictation of Supreme Lord, who is seated in the everyone's heart as the Paramatma. When mind is misled by external energy, one becomes entangled in material activities. Therefore, as soon as one mind is controlled through one of the yoga system, one should be considered to have already reached the destination. If mind is controlled through yoga system, one has reached the destination. One has to abide by the superior dictation. When one's mind is fixed on the superior nature, he has no alternative but to follow the dictation of the Supreme. The mind must admit to some superior dictation and follow it. The effect of controlling the mind is that one automatically follows the dictation of Paramatma or Super Soul, because this transcendental position is at once achieved by one who is Krishna conscious. The devotee of the Lord is unaffected by duality of material existence, namely distress, happiness, cold and heat, etc. This state is practical samadhi or absorption in the Supreme. So therefore, the difference between our material activity and spiritual activity is that in material activity which a person does, he has some material dharma, yes, material duties. So he does not harm his relationship, he does not harm his gain and enjoyment because he is doing his duty. And sometimes even if he harms, it's okay because he's continuing his duty, so he's satisfied. Okay. Then what is the spiritual duty? Spiritual duty means only for the pleasure of the Lord. There is no sense gratification. Material duty, there is sense gratification, and then dharma is also according to that. So spiritual duty means full following the dictation of a spiritual master, following the dictation of the Paramatma, like that. So here you also find in material life also one has to follow the dharma, duties, to be peaceful, to be free from duality. And in spiritual life also, when he is following the spiritual master instructions and other things, so then he goes to samadhi. He goes to samadhi. It means whether one wants to advance in material life or spiritual life, one has to control one's mind by following some superior dictation. Like a child says, I don't want to listen to parents, but I want to eat ice cream. Now he has material desire to eat ice cream, but he has to follow the superior dictation. No, you cannot eat. This is not the right time, or this is not good for you. And now in spiritual aspirant, I want to go to Radhakund and chant 64 mala. The spiritual master says, no, be in temple, chant 16 round and do service. When you will be qualified, I will tell you what to do next. But then he has to follow. Spiritual life dictation is there. Mind is saying, try to follow Babaji. The spiritual master is saying, don't follow Babaji. Follow, don't imitate. First follow. So spiritual life also dictation is followed, and material life also superior dictation is followed to control one's mind. Ultimately, it comes to the when one becomes perfect in Krishna consciousness, then it's a perfect samadhi. अच्छा, इसमें जरा ध्यान देना, बहुत अच्छे अच्छे वर्ड्स यूज किए हैं. जितात्मनः प्रशांतस्य परमात्मा समाहितः. One who has controlled the mind, Atma means mind, Jita Atma, Prasantasya, he has become Prasant, he has become tranquil, Samaha, Sant ho gaya wo. Why he has become Santa? Because he has approached Paramatma. He has reached to the stage of Paramatma. Paramatma को देख लिया उसने. तो जिसने मन को कंट्रोल कर लिया है वो शांत हो जाता है व्यक्ति. शांत होना मतलब परमात्मा को पहुंच चुका है वो. व्हाट आर द सिम्टम्स? शीत उष्ण सुख दुख तथा मान अपमानयो. In all these circumstances he is not becoming affected, And when somebody becomes affected by Sita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukha, Man, Apman, it is a mental. Again, it's a mental. It becomes mental. अरे अभी ना गर्मी बहुत लग रहा है, आज हम जॉब करने का आज थोड़ा मज़ा करते हैं, आज थोड़ा नहा के आते हैं, अभी क्या जॉब हो क्या जाना है, या इधर क्या जाना उधर क्या जाना, तो ठीक है, समटाइम्स enjoyment is required, but again it should not break our duties, correct? So when we become affected by Shita, Ushna, Man, Apman, Sukha, Dukha, it means it is mental. It's a mind's game. Mind is playing game with us. So then immediately one should control the mind with superior dictation, intelligence. तुरंत आना चाहिए, अरे क्या कर रहा है, गलत कर रहा है, ऐसा नहीं करना है. Superior dictation से mind को control करना है. Somebody should dictate. And therefore, when mind disturbs a lot, we should hear some katha so that we get some knowledge. Or we should meet somebody whom we can express our issues and we can get solution. ज्ञान विज्ञान तृप्तात्मा कूटस्थित विजितेन्द्रियः युक्त इति उच्यते योगी समलोष्ट्रास्म कांचनः.
A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi or mystic when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self-controlled. He sees everything, whether it be pebbles, stones, or gold, as the same.
So this is a shloka. Sama lostra sma kanchana. What a nice thing, na? If we come to this stage, nobody will work only. अगर पैसा और धूल मिट्टी दोनों बराबर दिख रहा है आपको, तो आप कमाओगे क्यों पैसा? अच्छा है, सारा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा. A person is said to be established in the self-realization and is called a yogi when he is fully satisfied by the virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. So what is his satisfaction element? Acquired knowledge and realization. Acquired knowledge is not enough, realization is also required. The realization of that knowledge. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self-control. And then he sees everything, all these things. So, pebbles, stones and gold are the same. Book knowledge without realization is useless. अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि न भवेत् ग्राह्यम इंद्रिय सेवन मुखे ही जीवादो स्वयं एव स्फुरतः. No one can understand transcendental nature of the name, form, qualities and pastime of Lord Sri Krishna through his materially contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually saturated by the transcendental service to the Lord are the transcendental names, form, qualities and pastimes of the Lord revealed to him. So there are two things. One is called knowledge, and another is called realization, and the last thing is called revelation. So one is called realized knowledge, other is called revealed knowledge. So knowledge is one thing we hear, that is hearing is knowledge. Realized knowledge means after practicing that knowledge, doing some service, you get some realization. So that is realized knowledge. Now revealed knowledge means it is revealed by the Lord. That is a separate thing. Revealed by the Lord means like वेद व्यास को भगवान रिवील कर रहे हैं, वाल्मीकि मुनि को रिवील कर रहे हैं. What is the Ramayana? What things happened in Ramayana? Now this is not realized knowledge. You cannot realize Ramayana. You can realize some lessons from Ramayana, but you need revelation of Ramayana. You need revelation of Vedic literature. क्या वेदों में लिखा है? Then you can write it down. You need revelation. So here is mentioned when our senses get purified, then Lord reveals His name, form, qualities and pastimes. कभी कभी हम नाम जपते हैं, मैं नाम को चख के रहूँगा, कितना भी स्वीटनेस से निकाल के रहूँगा. अरे वो रिवील्ड चीज़ है, वो दिया जाता है ऊपर से. आप उसको गन्ने की मशीन में डाल के निकाल नहीं सकते. तो नाम आपको नाम रस नहीं निकालेगा. वो रस उसमें है, लेकिन आप नहीं निकाल पाओगे उसका रस. आपको दिया जाएगा वो रस. बोलेंगे रिवील्ड, द लॉर्ड रिवील्स दैट रसा. You find many times, even though you may not be eligible also, like sometimes you feel very nice in chanting, and just you find it out what good thing you did because of that you found very that good. You don't come to trace any good thing in your life. You say I am still the same person, but I am still feeling some good thing in chanting. Why? It is revealed ना, वो reveal किया गया आपको. वो थोड़ी आपने कुछ किया, आज आपने अच्छा चपाती बनाया और पति को खिलाया, या आज आपने अच्छा थोड़ा घूम के आए, या आपने मतलब अच्छा प्रेम से बात किया, ये कुछ भी हो गया. आपने एक साधु महात्मा को थोड़ा डोनेशन दे दिया, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट यू गॉट अ रेवलेशन इन चैंटिंग. इट डज नॉट हैपन एक्चुअली. इट डज नॉट हैपन एक्चुअली. सो इट इज़ अ रिवील्ड थिंग. हाउ द लॉर्ड विल गिव इट वी डू नॉट नो. But surely this revelation will come when you are fully purified. When we are fully purified is mentioned only when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service, then these things are revealed to the person. Means one becomes qualified for that revelation. Abhi reveal hoga abhi. जैसे वेद व्यास, you can say Balmiki Muni. Balmiki Muni, he chanted Ram 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 Ram. So he became purified. Then the Ramayana was revealed to him, and he could write Ramayana. In the similar way, the Goswamis who are writing literature of Radha Krishna pastimes, those are revealed pastimes to them. उनको reveal होता है कि राधा ने क्या किया, कृष्ण ने क्या किया, इधर क्यों किया, ये उनके मन में क्या चल रहा था, ये reveal होता है. Because their senses are fully purified, they are totally saturated with the transcendental service. So that is revealed to them by the Lord. If we start writing some books, we will speculate. We may speculate from different angle. Okay, this person said this, so therefore this can also happen. Okay, this person said this, so this can also have happened. So we can say like this, but it is not revealed to us. And जिसको reveal होता है उसके लिए बहुत easy है काम करना. Therefore Prabhupada says it's not I am writing, it's Krishna is writing. I am not writing. Then somebody says, somebody started somebody asked Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, it's not I am writing, it's Krishna is writing. Then he said, other devotee said, see, actually Prabhupada understands Krishna, and then he started speculating in some certain way, ki how Prabhupada understands Krishna conscious philosophy, and he's writing, he's making us understand. Prabhupada said, nonsense, I am saying Krishna is writing, I am not writing. So it means what? Don't put your brain. Prabhupada understands something. How can somebody understand transcendental knowledge so easily? It's not possible. It is revealed actually. You should write in this way. It is this, it is this, it is this. When these knowledge are revealed, and when we read those knowledge, we get realization. Okay, this is how Prabhupada wants to make us understand. ऐसा अच्छा ऐसा है ऐसा क्या है ये सब क्या हम realize कर रहे हैं. But without a revelation, there is no realization actually. कैसे होगा? हमको पता ही नहीं लगेगा कि तत्व क्या है. तत्व तो पहले समझोगे, तब तो जाके उसको नॉलेज के रूप में पढ़ोगे या सुनोगे, और फिर बाद में उसको रियलाइज करोगे. इसलिए ट्रांसजेंडर लिटरेचर शुड बी रिटन बाय दोज पीपल हु आर free from all material designations and they are fully engaged in transcendental service. They can write transcendental literatures. Others, they can speculate and according to their realizations. Philosophical speculation. The Bhagavad Gita is the science of Krishna consciousness. No one can become Krishna conscious simply by mundane scholarship. Now, again, mundane scholarship is totally nonsense thing because it has no place only. It has no place to even, he is not accepting also that I have to surrender to Krishna to understand Krishna. He is thinking by my own scholarship I will decode all the Sanskrit verses in Vedic literature and I will understand. No. That's why many times when our understanding of scriptures collide with the Acharya understanding, we should not accept our understanding, but we should accept Acharya understanding, because Acharya's understanding is revealed and our understanding is a scholarship understanding. So we may know some Sanskrit and we may do something here and there, but Acharya understanding we have to take it, because that is a revealed knowledge. One must be fortunate enough to associate with a person who is in pure Krishna consciousness. A Krishna conscious person has a realized knowledge by the grace of Krishna, because he is satisfied with the pure devotional service. Pure devotional service. By the realized knowledge, one becomes perfect. By transcendental knowledge, one can remain steady in his convictions. But by mere academic knowledge, one can be easily deluded and confused by apparent contradictions. It is the realized soul who is actually self-controlled, because he is surrendered to Krishna. He is transcendental because he has nothing to do with the mundane scholarship. For him, the mundane scholarship and mental speculation, which may be as good as to others, are no greater value than pebbles or stones. Amazing. Prabhupada mentions the purport in, like here is mentioned the self-realized soul, because of his knowledge and realization, he sees everything pebbles, and how Prabhupada writes here, all mundane scholarship and speculations are as good as pebbles and stones for him. So because he believes in the realized knowledge, he does not believe in speculation and scholarship. That is why by reading too many books also, it does not ensure that one will attain perfection. By submission to great soul, as Prabhupada mentions here, see, a Krishna conscious person has a realized knowledge by the grace of Krishna. And here is mentioned, one must be fortunate enough to associate with one with a pure consciousness. So this is important. Association, taking shelter, then one's knowledge can be realized. Knowledge. Okay. He is devoid of desires, being satisfied by knowledge attained by teachings and realizations. So knowledge is jnana and realization is vijnana. He remains situated in one nature at all times. Kuta istata istha. Note, he does not change but remains fixed in Atma. Since he has no attraction for any object, he sees equal a lump of dirt, a rock and gold. So everybody has come in this world with certain mindset of doing business. I have to do business on this thing and I have to earn money, I have to become prosperous and rich and everything. So when one gives up that conception, then he accepts the second life. Second life means he becomes realized in his lifetime by meeting some great soul and practicing bhakti. So then he thinks that everything is stone, rock, dirt, what I was looking for, like Dhruva Maharaj. His second life. First life was till he became offended by his stepmother. Second life, when he met Narad Muni, and Narad Muni said that you practice Bhakti Yoga. And then what was the realization? Swami Kitartha Asmin Varam Nayache. That earlier I was looking for some broken pieces of glasses. Now I got darshan of you, my Lord. So I do not want the great post of Brahma. I do not want. So this happens actually. Everybody comes with a certain goal in their life, but he has to meet some great souls from whom he can attain knowledge and realization, and then his goal will be changed, and then he will see everything material as a useless. Suhrin mitrari udasina madhyastha dvesha bandhusu sadhusva api cha papeshu sama buddhir vishishyate.
A person is considered still further advanced when he regards honest well-wishers, affectionate benefactors, the neutral mediators, the envious friends and enemies, the pious and the sinners, all with an equal mind.
These are the behavior of a person who has tranquil mind और जितात्मनः, जिसने मन को जीत लिया है, वो ऐसे बिहेव करता है. So, when he regards honest well-wisher, affectionate benefactor, the neutral meditator, the envious, the friend and enemies, the pious and the sinner, with all with equal mind. So he sees everyone equal. The yogi sees equally the person who wishes one well, suhrit by nature. Prabhupada does not write it, so this is Acharya writes. One who actually does not, does good out of affection, mitra. So see how the yogi sees everyone equal. One who wishes well, eh? Good morning, or may you live long. So one who is wishing well, he is seeing him equal to one who does good out of affection, mitra. Oh, I have a good gift for you. Today is a birthday. I want to give a gift. Or let us go somewhere. I want to give you a surprise. So mitra, out of affection. Ari, the killer. I will kill him. He has killed my brother. I will kill him. Like who? Vitrasura. You have killed my brother. I will kill you. One who is neutral in times of conflict or honor, udasin. So this also in times of conflict and honor. Yes. So udasin. So that time he sees that person also equal. The meditator who tries to resolve conflict between the two sides, madhyastha, mediator. Okay. So he's seeing everyone equal. The umpire is also equivalent to the players. दो साइड इंडिया पाकिस्तान का मैच चल रहा है एन अंपायर all are equal for him. Umpire, he has nothing to worry about who is winning the match and who is deciding who is out and who is not out. वो मध्यस्थ भी चलेगा और दोनों टीम चलेगा. The person who deserves hatred because he harms one, dveshya, and the bandhu, the follower of dharma and the follower of adharma, this position is superior to that of seeing dirt and gold as the same. अच्छा देखो ये एग्जाम्पल ऊपर जो हम क्या देख रहे थे कि सीइंग समलोष्ट्र कांचना, सब कुछ पेबल्स, स्टोन्स एंड गोल्ड एज सिमिलर, बट हियर दिस पोजिशन इज मोर हायर. कैन एनीवन से व्हाई? ऐसा क्यों है? गेस, somebody can guess how this position is higher than the previous shloka? आशीष तिवारी प्रभु, आप हमेशा आंसर देते हैं. कोई और दूसरा ट्राई करो. एनीवन? गेस करने को बोला है. गेस मतलब आपको छूट है. हाँ माता जी बोलिए.
तो मुझे आई थिंक इसके पहले वाला जो था वो इट इज अबाउट the feelings of oneself, and this one is sorry, this one is about people na, about others. So it is higher I think. And उसके पहले वाला objects था, then ये pebbles और stones and gold था, because these are objects, not living things. And these are living and we interact with them.
Correct. This is the answer. Correct, nice. So yes, because when something is a dead object, you can see ये मेरे को कोई मायने नहीं रखता, ये सब बराबर है मेरे लिए. लेकिन when it comes to person who is your friend, who is your enemy, here one cannot see him equal, because enemy means he will come and kill me. How can I see him equal with my friend? Not possible. Yes. So many times it happens we can maintain our peace against somebody who is not our family member, or who is too much away, so far from us that we hardly meet him, so we can be pacified against him. कोई बात नहीं. वो जैसे हम लोग बाहर ट्रैवल करते हैं and people may trouble us, so we do not mind, because I'm not going to meet him next time. He's not my regular person to meet. But when it becomes so difficult, when we are meeting every time with someone and he is the culprit for us to make us पीसलेस। तो देन उस समय ये देख पाना बहुत मुश्किल है। सो डिटैचमेंट फ्रॉम सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट makes us peaceful. But when the sense object is always there with somebody, with our senses, that time to be peaceful is a more tough. More tough. So when it comes to object, when it comes to person, the object is dead. Object is not going to uh, appeal anything or harm us in any way because it is dead. But a man, either in the form of an enemy or a friend or some other, he has some qualities and he can harm us, he can love us, he can appreciate us, anything he can do. So then it is higher than previous one. योगी युञ्जीत सततम आत्मानं रहसि स्थितः एकाकी यत् चित्तात्मा निरासेर अपरिग्रहः. Okay, somebody else can. I will choose the name here. Jyoti R.
Yes,
Madhavi?
Guruji.
Yes, please read.
A transcendentalist should always engage his body, mind, and self in relationship with the Supreme. He should live alone in secluded place and should always carefully control his mind. He should be free from desires and feelings of possessiveness.
I have one question from previous one.
Yes, what is the question?
So we are generally we take association of devotees. We are asked to be affectionate with the devotees, compassionate with this maybe those who are lower. I don't know what to call. Maybe those who are new in devotion. But here it is said that be equal with sinner and pious. So is it different from the devotees, the sinners, and the pious? Because there we are called in NOI, I think we said that we should be affectionate with, we should be little respectful to who has chanted once, like that.
Yes. For the neophyte, we should offer obeisances in mind. For more advanced, one should offer obeisances with his body. And for pure devotee who has no desire to find fault with others, we should take association of him. Yes. So in NOI you will not find this thing in Bhakti Marg that these things are there. See, one should understand clearly. The yogi here, his business is what? His business is to focus mind on Paramatma. He is going step by step, and he has a lot of trouble with his mind and senses, and so he has understood how to mechanically control it and then see Paramatma. So he has to attain that stage of samadhi when he can focus directly on Paramatma. Okay, so he is not worried about the next life. परमात्मा से जी के देखने के बाद आगे क्या होगा. ही जस्ट वरीड अबाउट व्हाट आई हैव टू अटेन एंड फॉर दैट आई हैव टू फुली स्टॉप ऑल सच थिंग्स. ये सबको बंद करना है. मटेरियल चीज़ों का कुछ मेरे पे इफेक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए. इज़ नॉट वरीड अबाउट यूजिंग द थिंग इन सर्विस ऑफ द लॉर्ड. इज़ ओनली वरीड अबाउट बिकमिंग डिटैच फ्रॉम दोज ऑब्जेक्ट्स. समहाउ निकल जाओ. दैट्स वाई इन सेकेंड चैप्टर कृष्णा सेज पृथक बाला, Sankhya yoga, karma yoga. If somebody is a, so Sankhya yoga means what? He ultimately finds Krishna, the root of everything. And karma yogi, he is already engaged in service of Krishna, utilizing everything in service of Krishna. So he is already serving Krishna, and he will attain that Krishna later. So for us, actually, more important is to engage the things in service of Lord and become detached from the idea of sense gratification, that this thing belongs to me. वी कैनॉट सी दिस थिंग इन आवर लाइफ. ऐसा नहीं, हम नहीं देख सकते अरे सब कुछ बराबर है, सब कुछ बराबर है. जैसे चैतन्य महाप्रभु वॉज डिबेटिंग विद हिज मदर. When his mother decided that I will not send Nimai for schooling, so he said he started sitting in some dirty place, and then his mother said, Nimai beta, come down. So he said, why come down? I do not know what is good, what is bad. If you don't send me to school, how I will understand? He said like that. And then he said, ki, so his mother said, ki, beta, there is a difference between good and bad. Like the sweet rice is there. Sweet rice, the milk and the rice both have come from earth only, because we know that earth is a production company for everything. Earth. So from earth grass comes, grass eaten by the cow, and then it gives the milk. And rice also is growing, the rice, the paddy seed grows in the field. So then both are coming from earth, but eating earth directly will be not healthy, but eating sweet rice will be healthy for us. So she says, so the transformation of earth, one is if you eat it will not be healthy, another transformation will be healthy for you. Correct? So he says, she says, so therefore she understands, matlab ki I have to send Nimai to school for understanding this thing. So the Gyan Yogi actually, his intention is to just run away from the objects of senses and just focus on Paramatma. But the Bhakti Yogi, his objective is to engage everything in service of the Lord. But at the same time, this, when we talk about this here, Suhrit Mitra Udasina, even Prahlad Maharaj also says in 7th canto, ki nobody is, like Prabhupada also says, nobody is friend, nobody is enemy. We should see everyone equally, in the sense we should give Krishna conscious to everyone, and we should not have we should not harbor some wrong attitude with anyone. मेरा दुश्मन है नहीं, हम सबको भक्त बनाते हैं, हम सबके साथ रहो. शुद्ध भक्त को जो उत्तम अधिकारी, वो तो सबको बराबर देखते हैं, सबको बराबर देखते हैं. We know that, correct? They see everything equal. Enemy, friend, everything equal they see. But Madhyam Bhakta, he discriminates. Oh, this is the upeksha, इसकी उपेक्षा करनी है, इसके साथ मुझे रहना है, और इसको भक्ति देना है, और ये भगवान को मुझे प्रेम करना है. Yes. So Madhyam Bhakta does. But Uttam Bhakta, he sees everything in the sense enemy or not enemy, or is a friend. Everything is ये सभी लोग भगवान के भक्त हैं. Like that he sees. And he does not harbor any wrong thing with them. किसी के साथ गलत नहीं करेंगे, वो हमेशा भगवान पे डिपेंडेंट रहेंगे. Like अमरीश महाराज, he was not affected by Durvasa Muni because he was seeing Durvasa equivalent to any enemy or any friend. सबको बराबर देख रहे थे वो. तो अब यहाँ पे अब समझ में आता है कि मध्यम अधिकारी स्टेज तक पर्सन हैज़ टू डिस्टिंग्विश, बट व्हेन इट गोज टू उत्तम अधिकारी ही सीज एवरीवन इक्वल. But at the same time, he wants to engage, or he wants to engage that person in Krishna consciousness. Engage that person in Krishna consciousness. So, हमें हमारे साथ कभी ऐसा नहीं होने वाला कि हम इस चीज़ में, because there are distinction between हायर भक्ता, उसके हायर भक्ता, उसके हायर भक्ता, राधा रानी टॉप मोस्ट भक्ता, उसके नीचे भक्ता, उसके नीचे भक्ता. सो ये डिस्टिंक्शन स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में रहती है, उधर भी रहती है. ये जो इक्वालिटी जो हम यहाँ पे डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं कि सबको बराबर देखना, आप राधा रानी को, गोपी को बराबर देख सकते हो एक आइडिया से, बट गोपीज आर स्टिल लोअर देन राधा रानी. राधा रानी टॉप मोस्ट भक्ता. अगेन गोस्वामीज, they have a topmost, they are topmost bhakta. Again, if you compare Goswamis and the some other rasa bhakta, तो उसमें भी आप देख सकते हो डिफ्रेंसिएशन. तो स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में वो तो शुद्ध भक्ति देखते हैं ना, तो उसमें डिफ्रेंसिएशन है एक्चुअली. There is a differentiation in the different rasas, which are the higher, which are the lower, and which is the higher person, which is having the highest bhakti. महाभाव किसको है, किसको महाभाव नहीं है, तो ये सब है उनके में अंदर भी डिस्टिंक्शन है.
This is mainly for yogis. This mentioned here.
Mainly for yogis. So therefore even if you are, I gave 2-3 examples here. एक चीज़ मैंने बताया मध्यम अधिकारी का, दूसरा मैंने बताया उत्तम का. तो उत्तम इस संसार में देखते हैं सबको बराबर, लेकिन जब वो अपनी दुनिया में जाते हैं, जब when they live in their own world also, they also distinguish actually कि ये भक्त कैसे है, मतलब ये यहाँ पे ऐसा ऐसा, वो सबका रस लेते हैं, रस सबका लेंगे. हनुमान जी से बोला जाए कि आप को राम बुला रहे हैं, तो राम बुला तुरंत कूद के आएंगे. अगर कोई बोलेगा हनुमान जी को कृष्ण बुला रहे हैं, आएंगे ही नहीं वो, उनको भाव अलग है. तो फॉर हिम कृष्णा डज नॉट मैटर, फॉर हिम राम मैटर्स. So you can find the consciousness at this level is only focused on Paramatma and wants to get rid of the material objects. But when one enters into spiritual realm of rasa, he has to distinguish actually. Distinction उसमें भी रहता है. ये सब okay. So for ourselves we have to worry about engaging the things in Krishna service and becoming free from enjoying tendency. ठीक है. Krishna is realized in different degrees as Brahman, Paramatma, and Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna consciousness means concisely to be always engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord. But those who are attached to impersonal Brahman or the localized super soul are also partially Krishna conscious. Because impersonal Brahman is the spiritual ray of Krishna and super soul is the all-pervading partial expansion of Krishna. Thus, the impersonalist and the meditator are also indirectly Krishna conscious. A directly Krishna conscious person is the topmost transcendentalist because such a devotee knows what is meant by Brahman and Paramatma. Nevertheless, all of these are instructed herewith to be constantly engaged in their particular pursuits so that they may come to the highest perfection sooner or later. The best business of transcendentalists is to keep the mind always on Krishna. One should always think of Krishna and not forget him even for a moment. Concentration of mind on the Supreme is called samadhi or trance. In order to concentrate the mind, one should always remain in seclusion and avoid disturbance by the external object. He should be very careful to accept favorable and reject unfavorable condition that affects his realization. And in perfect determination, he should not hanker after unnecessary material things that entangle him by feeling of possessiveness. All these perfections and precautions are perfectly executed when one is directly in Krishna consciousness. Because direct Krishna consciousness means self-abnegation, wherein there is a very little chance of material possessiveness. Srila Rupa Goswami characterizes Krishna consciousness in this way. Anasaktasya vishayan yatharam upayunjita nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yukta vairagyam uchyate. Prapanchakatya buddhya hari sambandhi vastuna mumukshubhi parityago vairagyam phalgu kathayate. When one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accepts everything in relationship to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. On the other hand, one who rejects everything without knowledge of its relationship with Krishna is not as complete in its renunciation. See, yogis and here karmi, jnanis, Prabhupada mentions here. Where is that word? मेडिटेटर एक वर्ड था ना, किधर है? Two words mentioned here. Indirectly, okay, here. Yes, the impersonalist and the meditator are also indirectly Krishna conscious. Okay, so now we are discussing this stage for meditator. So they are indirectly Krishna conscious. Now Prabhupada mentions here, all these perfections and precautions are perfectly executed when one is directly Krishna conscious. Okay, so perfectly executed. So yogi is not perfect Krishna conscious right now. He is indirect Krishna conscious. So he is not perfect right now. But the real possessiveness, which we were discussing just little time before, he has to become free from material possessiveness. But real freedom from material possessiveness means to see everything in relationship to Krishna. This is what we are discussing. We have to see everything in relation to Krishna. This is engaged in Krishna service, let me engage it in Krishna Seva. This is the way. Then one is rightly situated above possessiveness. One thing is to give up. I don't possess anything. Nothing belongs to me. All are equal for me. चाहे तुम सैंड लो, चाहे गोल्ड लो, चाहे मेरा दुश्मन लो, चाहे मेरा दोस्त लो, सब मेरे लिए बराबर है. ओके ठीक है. करना क्या है? कुछ नहीं करना है. मेरे को परमात्मा में मेडिटेट करना है बस. उनका क्या करना है? उनको छोड़ दो. यहाँ पे क्या बोला गया? वन directly sees in relationship to Krishna. Okay, I can engage this thing in Krishna Seva to please Krishna more. So that is more perfect renunciation than the previous one, who was indirectly Krishna conscious. On the other hand, one who rejects everything without knowledge of its relationship to Krishna is not as complete in his renunciation. तो ये कौन सा है? ये अपना योगी हो गया. ये इसको क्योंकि पूरा डायरेक्टली कृष्णा कॉन्शियस नहीं है, तो ये पूर्ण रूप से एंगेज नहीं कर सकता चीज़ों को भगवान की सेवा में. A Krishna conscious person knows that everything belongs to Krishna, and thus he is always free from feeling of personal possession. As such, he has no hankering for anything on his own personal account. He knows how to accept things in favor of Krishna consciousness and how to reject things unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. He is always aloof from material things because he is always transcendental, and he is always alone, having nothing to do with person not in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a person in Krishna consciousness is a perfect yogi. Okay, so he is a perfect yogi. He is a beyond yogi which is mentioned here. Because he sees everything in right perspective, in right connection with Krishna. तो ये हम लोग प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं. We are practicing. So our practice is quite in line with perfection. Our practice is quite line because we understand even tomorrow also when we get liberated, we have to use things in Krishna Seva. We have to relate with the people who are Krishna conscious or who can be Krishna conscious also, who are potentially Krishna. जिसमें जो बन सकता है उनके साथ हम relate करेंगे. We can make them Krishna conscious. Okay, so in this way we have to understand how we are on the same marga, but with a higher understanding. As somebody say, प्रभु तुम लोग क्या करते हो? सिटी में घूमते रहते हो. देखो योगी बाबा वो कितना डिटैच्ड है. So then we should understand from here, the yogi Baba is indirectly Krishna conscious, and we are trying to become directly Krishna conscious, where we want to understand everything in connection with Krishna. Not that first we want to detach from things and then meditate on Krishna, then later when we realize Krishna, when we understand that everything belongs to Krishna. No, from right now we try to understand everything how it belongs to Krishna. That is our position, bhakta position, yogi karma. That is, and bhakta means perfect yoga. So we should be confident in this. शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरम आसनम आत्मनः नाति उच्चरितम नाति नीचम चैलाजिनकुशोत्तरम तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यत् चितेन्द्रिय क्रियः उपविश्यासने युञ्ज्यात् योगम आत्मविशुद्धये.
To practice yoga, one should go to the secluded place and should lay kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should be neither too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, and activities and fixing the mind on one point.
So now this is a sloka number 11, 12. So from 10 to 32, we are learning stages of Ashtanga Yoga practice. Okay. So now what is going 10 to 17 shloka, the practice stage of Ashtanga Yoga, basic practice, recommendation and goal of Ashtanga Yoga. Or I will show you one more thing. Here, this is the notes of Gaurang Priya Prabhu. देखिए 1 to 4 advancing in the yoga through detached work, that was niskam karma yoga. Okay, 5 to 9 the yoga rudha stage, giving up work. Yoga arudha is the perfected stage. Yoga ruruksh is beginning stage. Yoga arudha is perfected stage. Okay, so yoga arudha. Then the further stages in the practice of yoga, which is a 10 to 32, the stages of Ashtanga Yoga practice. Krishna described the practice of Ashtanga Yoga. The result are Yoga Rudha, perfectional stage, and ultimately the vision of Super Soul. This is the result. ठीक है, ठीक है. पहले तो अभी 32 तक हम कोशिश करेंगे. तो यहाँ पे जितना भी हम देख रहे हैं ये स्टेजेस हैं प्रैक्टिस के. अब इसमें क्लियरली आपको मतलब किधर स्टेज किधर है, हम तो बस माइंड के ऊपर ही सुन रहे हैं. माइंड के ऊपर आप सुन लाइक so now these stages are coming. Before that mind we heard, don't mix up, mix up मत करो. Mind पहले चला गया already. Mind was for basically yoga rudha, when his mind is fully controlled. जितात्मा प्रशांतात्मा योगा रूढ़ का है वो. अभी हम यहाँ से इस वाले श्लोक से 11 से 14 में अब हम जाएंगे तो क्या मिलेगा आपको. यहाँ से मिल रहा है शुरू का स्टेज. यस, फ्रॉम हियर इट कम्स द बिगिनिंग स्टेज. हाउ टू प्रैक्टिस योगा फ्रॉम 11 ऑनवर्ड्स. द 10th श्लोका, एक्चुअली 10th श्लोका वॉज ठीक है, इट्स लाइक ए जर्नल इंस्ट्रक्शन. बट द 11th श्लोका इज बेसिकली इज एक्सप्लेनिंग अबाउट द बिगिनिंग ऑफ योगा. कैसे कहाँ जाके योगा करना है. तो सबसे पहले to practice yoga one should go to secluded place. Secluded means, according to yoga understanding, so secluded means it should not be congested by any materialistic person and it should not be congested by anyone. seclude होना चाहिए बिल्कुल, क्योंकि ज्ञानी को ना किसी का संग अच्छा नहीं लगता, वो अकेले रहना चाहता है. So this is secluded place. And there what he should do, he should lay kusa grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. अभी deer skin मिलना भी जरूरी चाहिए. deer skin, पहले deer तो मिले, बाद में skin मिलेगा. We have to go to some जू पे जाके परमिशन लेके deer skin चाहिए. And then soft cloth, some silken cloth. The seat should be neither too high nor too low, and it should be situated in a sacred place. पास में होना चाहिए, या sacred place means some pastime, Lord's pastime place, some तीर्थ स्थल. So yogi also looks for sacred place. Sacred place does not mean some natural place जहाँ पे चिड़ियाँ चींची चींची करती हैं and then I feel very nice there. Sacred place means there is some spiritual activity must have happened. Sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind and senses activities and fixing mind on one point. So Prabhupada mentions here, in India, sacred place refers to the place of pilgrimage. In India, the yogis, transcendentalists or the devotees all leave home and reside in sacred places such as Prayag, Mathura, Vrindavan, Rishikesh and Haridwar and in solitude practice yoga, where the sacred rivers like Yamuna and Ganga flows. But often this is not possible, especially for Westerners. So the so-called yoga societies in big cities may be successful in earning big material benefit, but they are not at all suitable for actual practice of yoga. One who is not self-controlled and whose mind is not undisturbed cannot practice meditation. Therefore, in the Brihan Naryad Puran, it is said that in Kali Yuga, when people have generally short-lived, slow in spiritual realization, what is the best means of spiritual realization is chanting of holy name. ठीक है. So, Prabhupada says that for Westerners it's not possible because they have to come very long distance. And such kind of yoga practices which we see nowadays, they are meant for material benefits, earning some material benefits, बस that much. तो ये इम्पोर्टेंट है, ये जो वर्ड्स है ना, शुचोदेशे सेक्रेड प्लेस, सेक्रेड प्लेस, शुचोदेशे, और स्थिरम आसनम, स्थिर आसनम, आसन होना चाहिए, स्थिर आसन होना चाहिए. आसन कैसे बनता है? कुसा ग्रास, देन डियर स्किन एंड देन सम क्लोथ, उसके ऊपर कपड़ा. डियर स्किन से सम it has some repellent inside the deer skin. It does not allow some insects to come near because yogi has to sit for long time. So generally our आसन जो हम बैठते हैं उसमें क्या रहता है? उसमें कपड़ा रहता है या कुसा रहता है. एक्चुअली दोनों होना चाहिए, कपड़ा, कुसा और डियर स्किन. तो डियर स्किन इज बेसिकली यूज फॉर रेपेलेंट, भगाने के लिए कोई चीज़, कोई गंदी या कोई इंसेक्ट्स ना आके वहाँ पे चलना चालू कर दे. अदरवाइज कुसा ग्रास एंड क्लोथ, दैट इज अ आसन. कुसा ग्रास के ऊपर कुछ बिछा के, ओके, सॉफ्ट, बिकॉज कुसा चुभता है तो फिर चुभने में और फिर जब आदमी बैठता है तो उधर भी उसके निशान पड़ जाते हैं पैरों के ऊपर काफ़ी जगह. तो आसन शुड बी कंफर्टेबल. आसन शुड नॉट बी ग्राउंड पे भी नहीं बोला गया है. यहाँ पे क्या बोला गया? ना नाति उच्चरितम नाति नीचम, ऊंचा भी नहीं नीचा भी नहीं, मतलब थोड़ा सा ऊंचा होना चाहिए और एकदम बेड पे नहीं होना चाहिए. बेड पे बैठा है कोई, बेड भी गलत है, उतना ऊपर भी नहीं और एकदम जमीन पे भी नहीं, थोड़ा ऊंचा है. तो ये हो गया आसन. तत्रेक एकाग्रम मनः कृत्वा, और फिर ऐसे स्थिति में बैठ के एकाग्र मन के साथ योगा करना है. एंड दिस पर्सन हु सिटिंग हियर, ही इज नॉट गोइंग टू गो बैक एट हिज, मतलब ठीक है शाम को अपना बोरिया बिस्तर लेके चला गया घर पे, चलो आज का योगा खत्म. ऐसा नहीं है, उसको उधर ही रहना है, जंगल में ही रहना है और हर दिन योगा कंटिन्यू करना है. समम काय शिरो ग्रीवन धारयन अचलम स्थिरः संप्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रम स्वम दिशश्चान्वलोकयन् प्रशांतात्मा विगतभीर ब्रह्मचारी व्रते स्थितः मनः संयम्य मच्चित्तो युक्त मनः संयम्य मच्चित्तो युक्त आसीत मत्परः. Yes.
One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life.
So how one should sit? One should hold one's neck, body, neck and head erect in a straight line. Prabhupada sit properly. जब करते प्रभुपाद का स्टेट बीच में आता है, sit properly. Sit properly, बैठिए. So the yoga has to be done. So first the asana should be, place should be sacred. Asana should be rightly placed. Then he should come with this intention to do yoga, keep his mind peaceful, and then this is a sitting posture. Body, neck and head should be in a straight line, and you stare steadily at the tip of the nose. An unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life. One should meditate upon me. ये आवाज आ रहा है इसको थोड़ा who is there? Please mute yourself. The goal of life is to know Krishna, who is situated within the heart of every living being as Paramatma, the four-handed Vishnu form. The yoga process is practiced in order to discover and see the localized form of Vishnu, not for any other purpose. The localized Vishnu Murti is a plenary representation of Krishna dwelling within one's heart. One who has no program to realize this Vishnu Murti is uselessly engaged in mock yoga practice and is certainly wasting his time. Krishna is the ultimate goal of life, and the Vishnu Murti situated in one's heart is the object of yoga practice. To realize this Vishnu Murti within the heart, one has to observe complete abstinence from sex life, and therefore one has to leave home and live alone in the secluded place, remaining seated as mentioned above. One cannot enjoy sex life daily at home or elsewhere and attend a so-class yoga class and thus become a yogi. One has to practice controlling the mind and avoiding all kind of sense gratification, of which the sex life is the chief. In the rules of celibacy written by the great sage Yajnavalkya, it is said, कर्मणा मनसा वाचा सर्व अवस्थासु सर्वदा सर्वत्र मैथुनो त्यागो ब्रह्मचर्यम प्रचक्षते. The vow of brahmacharya is meant to help one completely abstain from sex indulgence in work, words and mind at all times, under all circumstances, in all the places. No one can perform correct yoga practice through sex indulgence. Brahmacharya is taught therefore from childhood, when one has no knowledge of sex life. Children at the age of 5 are sent to Gurukula, or the place of a spiritual master. The master trains the young boys in the strict discipline of becoming brahmacharis. Without such practice, no one can make advancement in any yoga, whether it is a dhyana yoga, jnana or bhakti. One who, however, follows the rules and regulations of married life, having a sexual relationship only with his wife, and that also under regulation, is also called a brahmachari. Such a restrained householder brahmachari may be accepted in a bhakti school, but the jnana and dhyan schools do not even admit householder brahmacharis. They require complete abstinence without compromise. In the bhakti school, a householder brahmachari is allowed controlled sex life, because the cult of bhakti yoga is so powerful that one can automatically lose his sexual attraction being engaged in the superior service of the Lord. It is said in Bhagavad Gita, Visya vinivartante niraharasya tehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param dishtva nivartate. Okay. So, Prabhupada mentions here the first important thing, that if Krishna is not the ultimate goal, or Vishnu Murti is not the ultimate goal of yoga, then that yoga is bogus. Yoga is bogus. So one has to go that I have to see Paramatma, I have to see Krishna. Then only that yoga, one should start practicing yoga. And for that, he mentions that one has to observe the complete abstinence from sex life. Even in like when Ravana, who was the most lusty person, so most of his life journey, it is only his lust only. He always was tormented by lust, and he always created some kind of, you can say, problem for so many people because of his lust. But when this Ravana, when he got this benediction from Brahmaji, that time it is mentioned that for all years, almost 10,000 years, when he performed tapasya, he did not break this celibacy. He performed celibacy so strictly for 10,000 years, just to attain power. And after that, he did not follow that. So this is the thing actually. So it is mentioned that in any yoga or in any success actually, if somebody has to gain, one has to control one's senses, and especially the sense of genitals, which are most provoked. In modern association, it's too much is there. And because the material world, unless it has certain goal to achieve, some spiritual goal, it is always be misdirected by sex life, always, because the basis of material life is sex, attraction between male and female. So therefore it's mentioned that a yogi has to be determined that he should not at all indulge in this kind of activity. It means this yogi has taken sannyas and then he has come to meditation. He has come out of his home to sacred place, either Banprasth or whatever. But here, according to Prabhupada says, only in Bhakti school it is allowed, in other schools it is not allowed. Full abstinence is required, full. सब कुछ छोड़ना है. तो दिस इज डेफिनेशन ऑफ ब्रह्मचर्य. कर्मणा मनसा वाचा सर्व अवस्थासु सर्वदा सर्वत्र मैथुन त्याग ब्रह्मचर्य प्रचक्षते. So all these things are very very important. So therefore the one's own mind, one's own contemplation, one's own work should be freed from attraction for opposite sex, and this training has to be given to our dependents, to children as well, that they have to be sent to Gurukula ashram. Prabhupada says there is no problem in co-education if both girl and boys are married. Like a girl is already married and boy is also married, and they are coming for some association, some learning something. There is no problem because they are married. Co-education not a problem. But when they are not married, that is a problem. That time co-education is a problem. Then that time one loses one's brahmacharya, because somebody says, but it does not indulge on any wrong thing. But here is mentioned, mind is indulged, then words, so then somewhere is indulging. And then what happens? Because of such indulgence, he does not get a firm determination to practice the path of yoga. This is mentioned here. And then he thinks that yoga is bogus. Only what I have to do, I have to gain a lot of name, fame, glory in the world, and that will make me successful. So he does not worry about brahmacharya, he does not worry about some kind of meditation on the Lord. This is far fetched word for him actually. युञ्जन एवं सदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः शांतिं निर्वाण परमां मत् संस्थाम अधिगच्छति.
Thus practicing constant control of the body, mind and activities, the mystic transcendentalist, his mind regulated, attains to the kingdom of the God or the abode of Krishna by cessation of material existence.
So this is shloka number 15. Yes. So yoga practice is not meant for attaining some material facility, it is to enable cessation of material existence. One who seeks an improvement in health or aspires after material perfection is no yogi, according to Bhagavad Gita. थोड़ा हेल्थ बना लेते हैं, थोड़ा स्लिम बॉडी कर लेते हैं, स्लिम एंड फ्लेक्सिबल बॉडी. So nowadays it's too much famous. Kali-yuga, all crazy things are very famous. जो भी क्रेजी है वो बहुत फेमस है कलयुग. और जो कुछ बोलेगा दिमाग से या सही जगह से उसको बोलेंगे ये these are old trodden ideas, obsolete ideas. Nor does cessation of material existence entails one entering into the void, which is only a myth. Again, this is void means nirvana. ना तो योग करने का मतलब शरीर को पतला बनाना है, शरीर को फ्लेक्सिबल बनाना है और some material perfection to attain, nor void merging in void. There is no void anywhere within the creation of the Lord. Prabhupada said there is no void in creation of the Lord, there is only void in the mind of that yogi. मतलब उसको दिमाग ही नहीं है. There is no void anywhere within the creation of the Lord. Rather, the cessation of material existence enables one to enter into the spiritual sky, the abode of the Lord. The abode of the Lord is also clearly described in Bhagavad Gita as that place where there is no need of sun, moon, electricity. And that is called Param Dhama. ठीक है. So there is no hankering for material facility. नाति अस्नतस्तु योगी अस्ति न चैकान्तम् अनस्नतः न चाति स्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव च अर्जुन.
There is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough.
यहाँ पे आ गया, ये तो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. यहीं पे लोग फंस जाते कई बार. Regulation of diet and sleep is recommended herein for the yogis. Too much eating more than required is to keep the body and soul together. There is no need for men to eat animals because there is ample supply of food grains, vegetables, fruits and milk. Such simple food stuff is considered to be the mode of goodness according to Bhagavad Gita. Animal food is for those who are in mode of ignorance. Therefore, those who indulge in animal food, drinking, smoking, eating food which is not first offered to Krishna will suffer sinful reactions because of eating only polluted things. Bhunjate te to agham papam pachante atma karanat. Anyone who eats for sense pleasure or cooks for himself, not offer to his food to Krishna, eats only sin. One who eats sin and eats more than is allotted to him cannot execute perfect yoga. तो बिना प्रसाद खाए तो योगा होगा ही नहीं. It is best that one eat only the remnants of food stuff offered to Krishna. A person in Krishna consciousness does not eat anything which is not first offered to Krishna. Therefore, only Krishna conscious person can attain perfection in yoga practice. Nor can one who artificially abstains from eating manufacturing his own personal process of fasting and practicing yoga. This is again mentioned, just we can see here. So one has to eat the yagya sishta. Yagya sishta means the thing which is offered to Krishna. Otherwise, at any stage of life, if somebody is committing sin and also practicing yoga, so his yoga will become nullified. It will not produce a result. Ahar suddho sattva suddhi, sattva suddhi dhruva smriti. So, the mind and senses will be controlled when one takes yagya sishta of whatever thing is offered to Krishna and God, then he is purified. The Krishna conscious person observes fast as it is recommended in the scripture. He does not fast or eat more than required. He is thus competent to perform yoga practice. One who eats more than required will dream very much while sleeping, and he must consequently sleep more than that is required. तो ज़्यादा ये क्यों आते हैं ड्रीम? क्योंकि ज़्यादा खा लिया है तो इसलिए नींद सपने भी ज़्यादा आते हैं. It means what? The person is not sleeping only. See, if somebody is dreaming means he is not sleeping. He is active internally. If somebody is dreaming means he is active. Somebody has to. So when the rest is complete, when somebody is not dreaming, तो ड्रीम नहीं होता है, आराम से सो गया और सुबह उठ गया, उसको कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, मतलब ही इज टोटली in cut off, is cut off from the world. So then in that cut off stage only one can rest. Body पूरे से rest कर सकता है, body अपना काम कर रहा है. But when somebody is dreaming means he is active, his energy is getting used there. So when somebody dreams, his sleep is not complete. Even he sleeps more also. So and why somebody dreams? Because he eats more. One should not sleep more than 6 hours daily. One who sleeps more than 6 hours out of 24 hours is certainly influenced by mode of ignorance. A person in the mode of ignorance is lazy and prone to sleep a great deal. Such a person cannot perform yoga. So see, what are the things which are against the yoga practice? First thing, if somebody is eating meat, forget, वो तो कभी योगा नहीं कर पाएगा. And somebody is eating outside food, he can never do yoga. Then whatever yoga is doing is bogus. Somebody who is eating yagasishta, he can do yoga. Somebody who is not eating more or eating less, he can do yoga. Somebody who is eating more, he will be sleeping more and dreaming more, so he cannot do yoga. So then 6 hours of sleep is the sleep of person in mode of goodness. कई लोग बोलते कहाँ पे लिखा 6 घंटे, इधर लिखा है 6 घंटे का लिखा है. Not more than, one should not sleep more than 6 hours daily, then he can perform yoga. युक्ताहार विहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तसपनावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः.
He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system.
So one thing is to put fire and other thing is to put water in that fire. So then that fire will not grow, it will become extinguished because we are putting water. So the yoga practice will only work when one is regulated in his life. So regulation is important here. Eating, sleeping, recreation and work. It's never said that to become workaholic, or it's never said that to become simply recreation, looking for enjoyment here and there, cinema enjoyment, that enjoyment, this enjoyment, or sleeping more or eating more or even less. Extravagance in the matter of eating, sleeping, defending and mating, which are demands of the body, can block advancement in practice of yoga. As far as eating is concerned, it should be regulated only when one is practiced to take and accept prasadam. Lord Krishna is offered according to the Bhagavad Gita vegetables, fruits, grains, milk. In this way, a person in Krishna consciousness becomes automatically trained not to accept the food not meant for human consumption or not in category of goodness. As far as sleeping is concerned, he is always alert in discharging his duty in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, any unnecessary time spent sleeping is considered a great loss. Avyartha kalatvam. So this is a symptom of bhava, bhakti, avyartha kalatvam. A Krishna conscious person cannot bear to pass a minute of his life without being engaged in service of the Lord. Therefore, his sleeping is kept to a minimum. His ideal in respect to Srila Rupa Goswami, who was always engaged in service of Krishna and who could not sleep more than 2 hours a day, sometimes not even that. Thakur Haridas would not even accept prasadam, nor even sleep for a moment without finishing the daily routine of chanting. As far as work is concerned, a Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not connected with Krishna's interest, and thus his work is always regulated and is untainted by sense gratification. Since there is no question of sense gratification, then there is no material leisure for a person in Krishna consciousness. And because he is regulated in all his work, sleep, speech, sleep, wakefulness and all other activities, there is no material misery for him. So what is the cause of material misery? Mentioned at last. Many times we quote this sloka, but we do not know why this sloka Krishna has quoted. Only minimum we know that if you regulate, it is very good. But no, regulation का यहाँ मतलब बताया. Why we want to regulate? Because there will be no material misery for him. There is no material misery for him. Because for yoga removes the material misery, but for yoga what is prerequisite? Regulation. So regulation takes to yoga and yoga leads to removal of misery. So here it is mentioned that Rupa Goswami Pad used to sleep only for 2 hours or even less, and Haridas Thakur used to eat nothing. These are the ideal example. So one has to understand that I should not eat anything which is not offered to Krishna. One should increase this consciousness more and more, because then one will be able to practice yoga of Krishna consciousness properly. If one is eating all the time outside thing or compromising on the principle that one can eat without being offered, so then he is susceptible to fall down of consciousness in due course, and that happens actually. So therefore one is quite careful in eating and sleeping. Sleeping also, basically if somebody eats more, then sleeps more. And nowadays people are waking up by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. This is quite common in modern times. Yes. सब लोग इतना late. So then how can he do yoga actually? Yoga means even bhakti also how can he do? Because he's sleeping late and waking up late. So then he will be suffering his material pain only. Material pain से सफ़र होगा उसको, और बोलेगा भक्ति में कहाँ मज़ा नहीं आ रहा है. So again one has to see one's regulation of life also. And the another thing is work is mentioned. So work should be connected to Krishna as far as possible. One has to see that. Like some people used to come and when we were running some corporate center, and then Prabhu, how to attain peace? So then I asked, what is the problem? I have night shift. So I said, this I cannot solve. When you have night shift, how to attain? How can this question be solved? I cannot say sleep in the daytime. No. Then one has to give up that job after a certain time, understand that he has to give up that job. He cannot continue that job. If he wants to practice yoga or if he wants to become free from material pain, he has to give up that job. Or otherwise he has to give up expectation of peace. है ना? तो दोनों कुछ तो छोड़ना पड़ेगा इसको, मुश्किल है, लेकिन आजकल लोग करते हैं वो. So till 17 shloka we learned Hare Krishna. ब्रज गोपीनाथ प्रभु, आप हमेशा अनम्यूट कर रहे हैं अपने को. So we have to 10 to 17 practice the stage of Ashtanga Yoga, the basic practices and the recommended of Ashtanga Yoga. So we saw just now. So these are the basic practices. Recommended goal, Prabhupada said that one has to see Paramatma, that is recommended goal. And one has to control one mind and senses. So in summary, Sucho Dese, कौन है? So first is Sucho Dese, sacred place, then asana, then seeing, keeping eyes half closed, staring on the nose, and then complete abstinence from sex life and no sense gratification, eating only prasadam or yagyasishta, and not sleeping too much, not eating too much or too less sleep also. And then comes the recreation and work. So recreation is, Prabhupada says, everything a devotee does is a recreation for him, because he's doing out of love for Krishna. Okay. Achha, somebody can say, like some Babaji says that one should sleep only for 2-3 hours and practice yoga. Like here, Rup Goswami Pad is given example. So in modern times people say that कि आज भी है कई लोग बाबा जी बोलते कि अरे तुम भक्ति कर रहे हो, what is the use of your bhakti if you are sleeping 6 hours? 6 hours is spoken for very materialist person. One should sleep only for 2 hours, 3 hours. So that Babaji should be asked कि Babaji, that person who sleeps only for 2-3 hours is himself a Babaji. So he cannot reduce his sleep unless he has got that taste, and that taste cannot be forced. वो फोर्स नहीं किया जा सकता टेस्ट धीरे धीरे आता है. जैसे यहाँ पे बोला है, पहले रेगुलेट करो एक्टिविटीज, फर्स्ट डू रेगुलेशन, देन slowly you have to cultivate your taste in Krishna consciousness. Then when that comes, like Rupa Goswami has already got a taste, then the sleep automatically gets reduced. But first of all, regulate it. पहले रेगुलेशन करो, जितना चाहिए उतना करो. Regulation चाहिए पहले. And it goes for long period. Regulation is for long period. And then after we get the taste, we can reduce it. Okay. Any question?
There is no most probably this sixth chapter will end next weekend.
Ah.
So then the exams will be conducted.
अरे आज मैं दोबारा भूल गया. Okay, open book बताना है. I have to tell open book. Sorry for that. Open book next time. Surely I will keep a reminder for myself. Next time I will tell how to write open book. And I heard that all of you have a summer vacation, and you are all most of you might have. So you are all going for your summer vacation. But we have to also begin the next unit, 7 to 12. So after finishing one unit, we will give maximum 2 weekends. Maximum 2 weekends. You have to submit your OBA, and closed book exams will also happen, because unless that completes, we cannot start the new unit. तो अभी कौन सा तारीख है? अभी आज 20 है ना. अभी देखो इसमें 47 श्लोक है, तो 47 है ना, तो मैक्सिमम ये 3 तक ख़त्म हो जाएगा, मतलब 3 मई तक ख़त्म हो जाएगा, 3 क्लासेस में ख़त्म हो जाएगा. और यू कैन से 4 आल्सो, चलो मान लो 4 भी ले लिया, तो 4 मई तक ख़त्म होगा. तो फिर आपका जो एग्ज़ाम होगा वो 10 to 18 के बीच में सब कुछ होना चाहिए. मतलब आपके पास 2 वीकेंड मिलेगा आपको. 2 वीकेंड में OBS सबमिशन एंड CBA एग्ज़ाम एंड श्लोका टेस्ट विल आल्सो हैपन. तो श्लोका टेस्ट तो आई डोंट थिंक इट विल बी डिफिकल्ट, बिकॉज वी आर रिसाइटिंग एवरी टाइम.
One request probably for closed book exam at least. Can we have one blank weekend so that we can prepare for revise?
Blank weekend. So blank weekend, 2 weekends are blank.
No, nothing will happen. Okay. 10 and 11. So even 10 and 11 if we get, we can revise everything and give exam on 17 or 18.
Yes, correct. And OBA devotees, you see OBA, you can start writing. Yes, devotees can leave, those who want to leave. Yes. So OBA devotees, you please start writing. So next time I will tell how to write. So you start writing your OBA. You have a time and you can submit. So then we can start our next unit on 18th और 24th of May. 18th को संडे को चालू करेंगे, नहीं तो उसके अगले वीकेंड में चालू करें. ठीक है. कुछ और कोई प्रश्न है किसी का?
Proji, can we get a result of OBA for NOI and Ishopnishad?
ओके, अभी तक आया नहीं क्या?
क्लोज बुक का ही आया है, OBA का रिजल्ट नहीं आया. ऑलमोस्ट 1 ईयर हो गया पूरे. लास्ट ईयर वी स्टार्टेड दिस टाइम.
Local results also नहीं है.
क्लोज बुक का आंसर्स वी हैव गॉट दिस रिजल्ट. OBA के like what I feel personally is that if we get the result of OBA and then in one session if the OBS can be discussed, it will be more beneficial for us, so that it can be like now what is the correct answer, and then we also get to know that okay how to write the next, how to write the OBS like you were saying, but there should be some revision of at least of OBS. You know what the result also we have not got.
So that I will do it for your Bhagavad Gita. When it comes to previous units of other book, and for them you must be knowing, because they no teacher told you. उसमें बताया नहीं गया कि कैसे लिखना है या क्या सही है.
नहीं.
देखिए एक जनरल कंसेप्शन क्या है कि जो पूछा जाए वो लिखो. If you are asked that like which shloka of Ishwar mentions about personal aspect of the Lord. Now which shloka? तो उसमें वो श्लोक मेंशन करना है कि ये श्लोक है, ये श्लोक है, ये श्लोक है। अगर मान लो 5 श्लोक में मेंशन है और आपने 2 ही श्लोक लिखा है तो आपके मार्क्स कटेंगे। एंड देन यू हैव टू डिराइव what things are spoken in this shloka, and then you have to write it. So some things are, questions can be of varieties. So this question is basically asking about your knowledge. कि what you have read, have you read the personal aspect of the Lord in Ishopanishad? Now which shloka talk about it? So you have to mention those shloka. I remember the last Bhakti Shastri, when I was checking, I found all devotees almost, they have not mentioned the shloka only. 1-2 श्लोक मेंशन किया है, अरे वो 4-5 जगह पे मेंशन है पर्सनल एस्पेक्ट, तो फिर उनके मार्क्स कटेंगे। एक चीज़ है, बिकॉज ये मैं से प्रभु जी 2 तो सही लिखा था, 2 का मार्क्स मिलेगा, बाकी का नहीं मिलेगा। तो अभी इसमें भी आने वाला है जो क्वेश्चन, ये दिस आल्सो इन अदर भक्ति शास्त्री द सेम प्रॉब्लम हैपेंड दैट I told the way to write the answer, still devotees did the mistake. उसके बाद भी मिस्टेक कर रहे हैं devotees। उनको बोला आंसर ऐसे लिखो, फिर भी वो अपने तरीके से लिख रहे हैं आंसर। तो दिस इज अगेन एंड अनदर थिंग, nobody should help each other. Means one can discuss and write, that is another thing, but it should not happen that husband and wife are sitting and they are writing same answer. Like this happened in one Bhakti Shastri. They both wrote and the husband is confident, he is saying she is my wife, so then how can we write another answer? Both of you are getting 2 different certificates, you should write different answer because you have 2 brain, not 1 brain. So both brain should work. One brain should work and other should copy, that is not the way. So that he was not getting convinced only. So he was convinced that he should write another answer. That should not happen. Again, the same answer should not match, and the same time it should not match with otherwise. कुछ दूसरे भक्त के आंसर से, क्योंकि जो चेकिंग करता है उसको पकड़ लेता तुरंत। ये भी ध्यान देना कि ये आंसर वहाँ से लिखा गया है, उसके कॉपीज, बिकॉज उसको याद रहता है कि यहाँ पे मैंने आंसर देखा है कहीं पे। थर्ड थिंग, वन शुड नॉट राइट आंसर फ्रॉम AI से आंसर नहीं लिखना है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस वही पकड़ा जाएगा। तो बेसिकली क्या है, बिना पढ़े आप नहीं लिख सकते हो। इसलिए नेक्स्ट टाइम आई विल टेल एंड देन यू कैन प्रैक्टिस राइटिंग OBA। ठीक है, एंड ठीक है, आपका जो रिजल्ट हम बता देंगे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। हरे कृष्ण।